Vin Scully's genius was what?
Vinny's genius was a lot of things. I mean, first of all, he did this for 67 years. I said to Chris on the air the other night, because it popped into my head, that who has a 67-year career in anything? Name somebody, anybody, an executive, a factory worker. That's 67 years. That's next to impossible, because you have to start when you're about 20. The guy that came to mind, who was at the top of the top of his game for all of those years, was Don Rickles. Don Rickles started as a comedian in his early 20s, and he still did a one-man show that I went to last January, and he is still, very close to the top of his game. Vinny had a tremendous connection with the audience. He went through generations of Dodger fans. Look, I listened to him since I was 6 years old. I grew up in Brooklyn. We moved to L.A. concurrent with the Dodgers, so I've heard Vinny my entire life. And the unbelievable thing, Dan, is that, as recently as a month ago, I'm driving home, coming off the freeway. I'm listening to Vinny call a game. It's the Dodgers and the Rockies in late August or whatever it was. It didn't mean anything. The game didn't mean much. And Vinny's telling a couple of stories. And all I know is I got into my driveway, and I don't open up the garage door because I need 5 more minutes to hear Vinny finish the story. So the car is idling. And I'm thinking to myself, this is unbelievable. I was listening to this man do this in the early 50s, and now I'm hearing it in 2016. And, it's funny because Bob Costas and I, we were in Pittsburgh the other day, and I went on to Slingbox, and we just happened to catch, Bob and I caught Vinny's last, 15 minutes of doing the Dodger-Giant game the other day. It was phenomenal. And I'm thinking to myself, why is he retiring? Now, I understand that. He was phenomenal the other day. It's as good as any broadcast I've ever heard Vin do. But I do get the fact that, it's one thing to say, hey, you can really, ratchet it up for the end of your career. It's another thing, I'm sure, if Vinny would look ahead and say, I've got to do 100 games next year.
Yeah.
So God bless him. He's been amazing. I was there on opening day when they honored him. They asked me to MC the ceremony. You couldn't believe it. The fans were going crazy for 10 minutes. And I wasn't here for the last game we did at Dodger Stadium where it ended with a home run. Remarkable. He's a freak of nature. That's the only way I can put it, Dan. There's so many things that made him so great, but he is the connective tissue with generations of Dodger fans.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.